Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Welcome to Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, brought to you by Honda of North Little Rock. Brian Hendricks, Joe Franklin sitting in for Ray Tucker. What's up, Brian? How are you?
Well, I tell you what, Joe, I had what I would call the perfect guys weekend this weekend. I go up to a river in northwest Arkansas, with a friend of mine on Friday, 80 bass and Ozark bass. 80 bass in a day, which is with two people, not too shabby. We took a little break on Saturday, played some golf, went out again on Sunday, did a wade fishing trip on a different creek up there, spent 1 hour at it before the storms chased us off, caught 26. My friend went down, took a stick through the knee. Thought he might have severed his patella tendon. Was hospitalized today. It wasn't quite as bad as that, but still pretty serious. Friends of mine tend to run into trouble on creeks. They tend to get hurt and hospitalized, and the common denominator is me.
But it sounds like a great weekend overall and good times.
Great weekend overall, and the thing is, if you're in Arkansas right now, now's the time to be doing things. The turkey season's finally over. We had a record. Hunters did better this year than they have since 2016. Which shows things are getting better in the turkey way. We got squirrel season that's going to open here, I think, on the 20th. I have to look at that, but I believe it's coming open if you want to do some springtime squirrel hunting. And after that, man, it's all fishing. We've got everything open. The stripers are biting. The white bass are biting. Largemouth, smallmouth. Can tell you whatever you want to fish for, it is going on right now in the natural state. And we have with us a special guest who's with us frequently is Cameron Nestorenko, who's kind of a man about everything in Arkansas. He does it all just like we all do. And so welcome back to Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, Cameron Nestorenko.
What's going on, guys?
Man, it's good to see you, Cameron.
You too.
So, you've had an interesting time, duck season. You went through duck season. Tell us about your turkey season.
Duck season was pretty good this year. There's a lot of just kind of inconsistent weather and all that, but duck season was good. Turkey season rolled around, and I heard a lot of turkeys gobble before season, but then once season kind of kicked off, I never heard any gobbles, so it's just kind of hard to locate them. And at that point, essentially, you're almost deer hunting them, where you're just kind of waiting around for them to cross paths with you, and it's not as fun as hearing them gobble and chase them like that. It just kind of sits there, and it's pretty boring. But I never got a turkey this year. I had a couple close calls, but man, that'll happen.
Well, while we are talking fishing, we've got with us another special guest, Jared Ruggles, a guide on the White River, and I had the good fortune and opportunity to fish with Jared a few weeks ago. May 1st, as a matter of fact, it was the best day of fly fishing I've ever had. Don't think I can ever match that again, but we're going to relive it and then some with Jared Ruggles. Welcome to Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors.
Hey, guys. How are y'all doing?
Well, not as good as you, because I figure you're probably on the White River today catching more brown trout, and the rest of us were not.
Well, I was. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, we were out there today.
What's so special about springtime on the White River? The water temperature is the same pretty much year-round. The leaves look different depending on the season, but the conditions under the water are different, but yet there's something special about spring.
Well, I would say it's the bug. Caddis is famous on the White. It's become that way, and it hadn't always been that way. Back to the White being a younger tailwater. If you look at when the dam was built, you're talking in 1952, I believe, was completion. So in terms of that, the White River is fairly young. So we've got these bug populations that are growing and becoming more consistent and more reliable. So as far as what makes spring awesome on the White, I would say it's the caddis.
And we were talking about that the last time when we fished together on May 1st about how the evolution of a trout fisheries insect, morphology, I guess you would say. is we were recalling back in the day when the woolly booger and the scud used to be such a big thing there, and you don't really hear about that much anymore. Other things have come online, and that really reflects the state of the the insect population there.
Oh, sure. And we still have plentiful scuds, sow bugs, and all that type of thing. And it's interesting how these fish choose to key in on certain things. I guess they prefer the taste of caddis. I'm not sure, but I know when those bugs are available, they will choose that over just about anything else. And we've even touched base on how the bait fishing can slow down a little bit in specific areas when caddis are coming off. So it's all really interesting. I wish I understood it more even.
In your experience, or in your opinion, do trout migrate up from other places to get in on that caddis thing, or is it just a localized phenomenon?
I think that they'll move some. I don't think that they're going, from the Narrows up to, up 3 shoals up or something to eat. But I think they'll move some. And, caddis are also in different shoals all the way down the river. So I think areas that tend to hold a lot of browns are what you'll see, let's concentrate on the most. But they may move out of the slow water at the end of a pool up into the shoal or the base of a shoal or maybe even the top of a shoal. I think they would do that. We see them move a little bit on shad kills. That scent of shad gets in the water, and you'll see more fish kind of move into the catch and release during that time. So I think it's plausible to say they probably move to a degree.
Visiting with Jared Ruggles, and what's the name of your fly fishing service, Jared?
Okay, so we run Flyco. It's FLICO, and you can find us on online. I've got www.theflyco.com, or they can, people can call me direct 870-260-4570.
And I will tell you what you can expect with a day on the water with Jared. You got a really nice boat, good, spacious, stable boat. He mans the oars, keeps you on station with the fish all the time, makes sure that you're in the right thing to throw, and puts you where they are. I think Rusty and I caught, fishing with Rusty Pruitt on May 1st, caught and released 30 browns from 19 to about 23 inches. They were all right in there. And I tell you what, on a fly rod, after a full day of that is all you want.
It's awesome, man. I mean, it's incredible the way those fish are fighting right now, too. You hook into one, and they're just ripping upstream. A lot of times we're having to get on the oars pretty aggressively to either stop the boat, or sometimes we're even jumping on the motor to kind of track back some of that fly line. Once you start seeing that white or black backing or whatever color your backing is coming out of the rod, it's time to kind of panic and get in serious mode and gain some of that line back. Because it's amazing how strong the current can be on a full fly line plus an aggressive low 20s fish or whatever it may be, just giving it all he's got.
You were talking about how many good caddis shoals are there, and are there more coming online as time goes on?
I think there's more than people probably realize. Caddis are throughout the whole river system, and caddis are even found in.
I got to take a break here because I did what I usually do and led you into a pretty detailed question right going into a hard break. So hang with us. Keep that thought. Jared Ruggles, we're visiting with on Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. Freaky Joe and I are going to go make a little money.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
This is Anthony Lucas, here to tell you about my favorite spot in Little Rock, Corky's. Sure, Corky's may look all ribs and barbecue on the outside, but did you know Corky's was also nominated for Central Arkansas's best catfish? And don't get me started on their chicken, shrimp, and nachos.
Those Big Joe burgers, Anthony.
Big Joe, when did you get here?
You really stealing my thunder, Anthony. Corky's is my place.
No way you love Corky's like me, Joe.
Talk to me when you have your own menu item, Lucas.
Corky's ribs and barbecue.
Road Truck Days means Soul Truck Days at Gwatney Buick GMC. Call 501-945-4444. Right now, trade up to a 2025 GMC Sierra with Turbo Max at just 0.9%. Get hard-loaded 25 Sierra 1500 SLTs, discounted up to $13,000 off MSRP. Road Truck Days even includes the big boys. 2,500 3/4 ton, discounted over $11,000 off MSRP. During Gwatney Buick GMC's Road Truck Days, GMC Terrains are just $299 per month. Plus, all new Buicks qualify for 0.9%. Call 501-945-4444. Road Truck Days means Soul Truck Days at 5-star and family-owned Gwatney Buick GMC. 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC. We are professional grade. Some vehicles require qualifying trade-in. All offers with approved credit. Stock numbers 31328, 31264, 30710. Terrain is a low-mileage lease.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
The leader in sportsbook apps in the state of Arkansas, Bet Saracen, has a club you might want to consider joining. It's the perfect offer for you if you like to play parlays. Head over to the Bet Saracen app, opt in, and get all the details on how to earn bonus cash with the Parlay Bonus Club. It's active through June, and it could be the key to stacks of sportsbook bonus cash. The Parlay Bonus Club on the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Congratulations to Harrison Deere of Rogers and Caroline Jones of North Little Rock for being named the All-Arkansas Preps Outstanding Players of the Year in Tennis as chosen by the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. They are among the 400 Arkansas high school athletes who will be honored at the All-Arkansas Preps Awards Banquet on Saturday, June 14th, sponsored by CHI St. Vincent. The event is emceed by Steve Sullivan with special guest David Basil and linebacker for the New Orleans Saints, Demario Davis. To find out more about the athletes selected or to purchase tickets to the event, visit allarkansaspreps.com.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Welcome back to Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, brought to you by Honda of North Little Rock. Brian Hendricks, Joe Franklin in for Ray Tucker. We have special guest Cameron Nesterenko in studio with us, and Damon Poole is coming up to tell us about some tornado warnings. What's up, Dame?
Actually, what we have is a tornado watch that has been issued for parts of western and northern Arkansas until 2 a.m., and in the central Arkansas listening area, we have 7 counties involved. These include Cleburne, Conway, Garland, Perry, Pope, Van Buren, and Yell. And that is until 2 o'clock in the morning. Remember, a tornado watch means conditions are favorable for tornadoes and severe thunderstorms and in close to the watch area. Keep it right here. We have the EAS on standby, and we're also monitoring Channel 4. So if we have to cut in with an update, we will. So keep it tuned right here. Tornado watch until 2 a.m.
Appreciate it, Dame.
All right, we're back with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. We're visiting with Jared Ruggles of Flyco Guide Service, and when we went to break, we were talking about the expansion of the caddis areas. And sorry to cut you off there.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. You said always leave them wanting more.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, caddis are in the whole river system, and they're in warm water systems too. There's lots of different kinds of caddis, but one kind of common thing about caddis, they build shucks. As a larva, they build shucks, and they attach it to rocks, typically. So you'll find caddis in areas that have more chunk rocks that are stationary, exposed bedrock, that kind of thing. Rivers that have, or areas of the river that have a lot of gravel, it's important to keep in mind under high flows that gravel moves around. So any shucks that would have been attached to gravel are oftentimes washed downstream and just kind of forever. I'm not sure that they're able to reattach. They probably can. They probably can reattach, but you'll find more caddis in areas that are more bedrock and big, gnarly kind of chunk rock on the bottom, that kind of thing.
When there's a good hatch going on, and it's not necessarily got to be caddis, but there's a lot of different hatches that come on. How do you all keep up with that, the timing of that, and know pretty much when that's going to happen?
We do, and there's a couple I kind of call them seasons. There's seasons that we go through year after year, and there's some hatches that are far more important than others. And it's strange how a fish will key in on a particular thing, and a lot of it has to do with the availability of it. If there's a whole lot of it, it's easy for them to feed. They're not having to work or be all that opportunistic. It's almost like they're filter feeding on caddis right now. But I don't want to emphasize caddis too much because there's lots of good seasons we fish. We'll have sulfur mayflies at the end of June or mid-June, usually all through July. Hot summertime brings on some other bites that are fun to fish, and then we have shad kills each year, and then there's a lot of times we're fishing and there's not a real obvious food source, and you kind of have to figure out, well, what are they eating? And it very well could be a sow bug or a scud or worms or whatever's available. Midges are super common. We fish a ton of midges. There's tons and tons of different types of midges, and a midge is in a trout's diet all year long, which is pretty cool. So midges have to be a staple in your box, and that's never a bad place to start. So there's lots of good seasons, lots of good hatches. Some are more meaningful than others, but it just takes kind of time on the water to figure out what you need to focus on and what you kind of need to ignore.
Well, there's going to have to be a reckoning between the two of us, Jared, because one thing you did do is put that earworm in my ear about what would that song, The Pretty Pink Pony or whatever it was?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think Alex had been playing that every day, and I think she was just playing that to get back at me. I don't know what I did to her, but she made sure anytime we went, it's the new Pink Pony song. And I've got it out of my head, so I don't want to think about what it is.
Well, good. I'm glad I put it back there because, it's been in mine ever since then, and I was just about weaned off of it, and it came back up again this weekend on the Kings River, but...
Something about dancing at the Pony Club.
Yeah,
Pink Pony Club.
The Pink, yeah, that's what it was, the Pink Pony Club. But yeah, that's just part of the Jared Ruggles experience. He will put songs in your mind and get you on big trout. Once again, Jared, tell our listeners how to get in touch with you, what your rates are, and what they can expect when they get there.
Okay, sure. So easiest way to get in touch with me, the direct way is cell phone, 870-260-4570, and just give me a call and we can work out, all the details on that. What time you're wanting to come, what you're wanting to do, all that kind of thing. Our website, theflyco.com, just THEFLICO.com. Email jared@theflyco.com, JARROD. Full day rates are $550. That includes a lunch. And then half day is $475, and we don't include lunch, but we do include soft drinks and waters on all trips, as well as everything you need to fish. Rods, good gear, zip it, flies, all that kind of thing.
It will be, if not the best fly fishing trip of your life, right up there with him. I recommend Jared Ruggles wholeheartedly. I had a great trip with him on May 1st. Can't wait to fish with him again sometime. We're going to take us
That'd be great, man.
All right. Thank you for joining us, Jared Ruggles. We're going to take us another break here on Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. Hang with us. We'll be right back.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
When you're out and about in the natural state, whether it's work or play, be sure to make W's Convenience Stores your one-stop shop. With 34 locations in central Arkansas, they're easy to find. Headed to the lake or just taking in the beauty of Arkansas? Stop in at your nearest W's location. Their double blend of coffee is always hot and fresh. Snacks, W's has them. Want more than a snack? Many W's have hot delis. And don't forget the hot breakfast sandwiches. W's, where you gas it, grab it, and go.
It's a tough time. Injured, and it was not your fault. Hurts in the pocketbook, too. Who do you turn to? Don't call a lawyer and find they're out of state or talk with someone at a call center. Call us at the Brad Hendricks Law Firm and talk to a real Arkansas lawyer directly. And remember, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. We'll work hard for you. Have for over 30 years. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
Mega Millions now has better odds, bigger prizes, and the highest starting jackpot in America. Top prizes start at $50 million and increase rapidly until someone wins. What else is new? How about no more break-even prizes? Win anywhere from 2 to 10 times your bet. And the multiplier? It's no longer an add-on. Mega Millions is always $5 per play, bells and whistles included. Play today in stores or on the go. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Have questions about retirement, investments, or your money? Call our financial hotline. Dial 501-381-5228 and leave a voicemail with your specific financial question, and our experts will answer it on the Get Ready for the Future show Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Get your financial questions answered by the pros. 501-381-5228. Call now. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Independent Advisor Alliance. Independent Advisor Alliance and Genwealth Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Drew Self in Hot Springs, Todd Matthews in Benton, or Alex Blake in Little Rock today.
The Rock City Margarita Festival, presented by Oaklawn Hot Springs, is back and happening July 19th from 5 to 8 p.m. at the State House Convention Center in downtown Little Rock. Your ticket includes a tasting cup and margarita samples from some of the best bars and restaurants in the city. Early bird tickets are just $35, but prices go up soon, so don't wait. Come sip, sample, and celebrate summer at the most refreshing event of the season.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Welcome back to Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, brought to you by Honda of North Little Rock. Brian Hendricks, Joe Franklin in for Ray Tucker. Cameron Nesterenko, our special guest in studio. Bet Saracen. Right now you can get the latest lines on NBA playoffs. Minnesota Timberwolves, Oklahoma City Thunder. They are your Western Conference final. OKC is favored by 7.5 in this first game. Indiana Pacers, New York Knicks, Eastern Conference Final Game 1. Knicks are a 4.5-point favorite. You can get Stanley Cup playoff lines. They're already in. Florida Panthers, Carolina Hurricanes. That's tomorrow. And then Wednesday, Edmonton Oilers, Dallas Stars. If you want to get some in-play wagering, you can get MLB scores that are currently going on right now and get in on some of that in-play action. WNBA, Seattle Storm, Dallas Wings. That's another one you can get in on in-play right now. It's all available at Bet Saracen.
And we're back with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, and we've got with us a special guest, Ken Reeves of Harrison. This weekend, a dear friend of ours passed away, Mike Masterson, who was a longtime journalist with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, columnist. He'd been with the Arizona Republic, the Los Angeles Times, had been a journalism professor at the Ohio State University, as they like to call it. Passed away from a long bout with throat cancer. Mike was a huge, huge influence on my life, on my career, going back all the way to 1984. And Ken Reeves knew him a lot longer than that, knew him a lot better than I knew him. And Ken also served on the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission for 7 years. And I'm sorry, Ken, I don't remember the years. They kind of start to run together for me. But welcome to Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors.
2013 to 2020.
And those were great years for you to be on there. Y'all got a lot done, but wanted to visit with you about Mike Masterson a little bit. You know, he had written about you really quite a bit over the years, your bass fishing trips on Bull Shoals Lake, and you know, how far back did you all go?
Well, we went back till we started our teenage years together here in Harrison. Mike was actually born in Harrison, but he wasn't here long because his dad was a career Army guy, but Mike's mother was from a very prominent family in Harrison, the Hammersmiths. Her brother was John Paul Hammersmith, who was our congressman for 13 terms, but they moved away. Then they came back about the time Mike and I became teenagers, 13-year-olds, about it'd be 1960, 61, and they were here for like 3 years, and we fished Crooked Creek together. He loved to stream fish. And he was a good athlete. He was a great high hurdler. Mike had one problem. His dad wouldn't let him have a car, so he double dated with me and with Bill Dill and Don Walker, his three best friends back in those days. We all had cars. And so we helped Mike out in that respect. And then they moved again with the military and didn't come back for years. Now, he always considered Harrison his home because that's where his mother's family was, and he loved Harrison. And he never completely lost contact. And then when we were 50 years old, he moved back here to stay, and we renewed our friendship, started playing golf together and fishing together again.
You know, one thing he loved, you were talking about stream fishing, he loved to fish with the guides out of Gaston's. He knew all those people.
Yes.
And
yes, he did. He loved Gaston.
And, you know, I'm thinking of Joe Hicks. And who's the one guy that played music that Mike really loved? You know, he was into bluegrass music and everything, but he loved to drag a jig over those shoals.
Oh, Mike just loved life. He was always fun to be with. He was always very positive, always happy. Probably the craziest story. When he came back in 2000, we were both about 50 years old, and we started playing golf together a lot, and we fished together. But we were playing a two-person scramble one day, and it ended up he wrote a column about it called the Fish, Hunt, and Golf Club. I teed off on a hole, and as soon as I hit my drive, a robin flew across in front, and my ball hit her and killed her.
Oh.
There was this big puff of feathers. And so we went and picked her up, and it literally made a hole through her. I mean, it was just a circular hole where the golf ball went. I laid her in the back of the golf cart, and of course everybody thought that was crazy. Never seen that happen. We played about 4 more holes, and Mike drives, and his ball goes in a pond and knocks a big perch out onto the bank. So we go over to get his ball. Here's this perch. So we pick up the perch, we pick up the robin, and take a photograph. That's how it became the fish hunt and golf club. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's funny how things like that happen. A friend of mine accidentally hit a Canada goose pretty hard on a drive one time, and all the other geese were standing around this like, well, it's too bad to be you, bud. The goose eventually kind of got up and shook it off, and they all went off together. But things like that do happen sometimes.
Yeah.
Remember Randy Johnson hitting that seagull with that thrown ball in a baseball game?
Yes, I do.
One of the things that I talk about a lot, Ken, and you've experienced it a lot, off the commission, on the commission, but I don't know if there's any stronger bonds, friendship bonds, relationship bonds that come together the way they do over a shared love of the outdoors. My best friendships have that commonality. They begin and revolve around hunting and fishing.
I could not agree more, Brian. I was thinking, when you get to our age, you start reflecting a lot. You got a lot more behind you than you do in front of you. And I look back over the years at all the really good friends I've had, and I've had a number of them. It all began with a fishing trip or a hunting trip, and grew from that to literally being almost like family, going to church together, going to children's weddings together, and graduation. And some of my best friends are closer to me than some of my family. And we met with a shotgun in our hand, or a deer rifle, or a fishing pole.
What in those early days you referenced, fishing as youths with Mike on Crooked Creek, and how was it different then than it is now, Crooked Creek?
Well, of course, the main thing that's different is we built a weir in Harrison several years ago to create Lake Harrison, which was a big mistake. Everybody thought it was great at the time, including me. I was all in, but we could just envision having this small lake right in downtown Harrison, and kids out there swimming and kayaking, but it turned out just to be too dirty. I wouldn't want my grandkids to get in it. So we've had an effort going trying to remove the weir, but that killed off the fishing in the downtown area unless you go upstream about 2 miles. But back in those days, of course, this is 13. We didn't have cars. We'd walk down there, and we'd either go out in the creek and catch crawdads, or we would have already dug some earthworms, or we'd walk out in the field and catch grasshoppers. And then we just work our way up the creek one day, down the creek the next, and we'd catch a few smallmouth. We'd catch goggle eyes, brim, sun perch. Just had a ball. If it got too hot to fish, we'd just go swimming.
I was thinking of one of these memories about Mike Masterson that stands out, of us having dinner at Gaston's one time, and I guess the lights were too dim in there. He couldn't read the menu, and he had these glasses with these headlights on the sides of them, and he flipped those things on so you could read the menu. Yeah.
He always had something like that. He showed up at my dock one year for our annual reunion trip with a pair of tennis shoes, and the heels were springs like a pogo.
I remember those.
Oh, and he thought that he was sincere. He thought they were really cool, and he was really proud to show them to us until we got tickled and started teasing about it. Then he decided he'd just make fun of it too.
Yeah. Well, you meet these people in life that are just larger than life, and Mike was one of those. Always having a good time, no matter where he was or what he was doing, and it was infectious. You just could not get in and have a good time with him.
That's true. One of the amazing things, everybody in Harrison's known Mike for a long time, but not many people have known him well. And since his obituary has come out and people see what an incredible career he had from the time he left Harrison as a 16-year-old until he came back as a 50-year-old, it just blows their mind at what all he's accomplished. The Pulitzer Prize nominations and helping 3 people get released from prison who were not guilty. I mean, that's just incredible.
Well, I tell you what, it's been great visiting with you about our good friend Mike Masterson. We are sorry to see him go, but Ken Reeves, it is always a pleasure to visit with you no matter what the topic is. And sorry for your loss, bud. And, I look forward to talking to you again soon sometime.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it very much.
All right, and join us on the other side with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. We're going to take us a little break, and we will be right back.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Road Truck Days means Soul Truck Days at Gwatney Buick GMC. Call 501-945-4444. Right now, trade up to a 2025 GMC Sierra with Turbo Max at just 0.9%. Get hard-loaded 25 Sierra 1500 SLTs, discounted up to $13,000 off MSRP. Road Truck Days even includes the big boys. 2,500 3/4 ton, discounted over $11,000 off MSRP. During Gwatney Buick GMC's Road Truck Days, GMC Terrains are just $299 per month. Plus, all new Buicks qualify for 0.9%. Call 501-945-4444. Road Truck Days means Soul Truck Days at 5-star and family-owned Gwatney Buick GMC. 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC. We are professional grade. Some vehicles require qualifying trade-in. All offers with approved credit. Stock numbers 31328, 31264, 30710. Terrain is a low-mileage lease.
It's the perfect day. You're just driving along, listening to your favorite music. The window's down. There's a cool breeze. Life is good. But wait, hold on a second. You're not wearing a seatbelt? You'd better put that on before that... Uh-oh, too late. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement, so you'd better buckle up or you will get caught. Sorry to ruin your day. Click it or ticket.
A message from the Arkansas State Police Highway Safety Office.
Join the zone each Monday for game balls and jock straps, brought to you by 8 Caddies Touch Landscaping. Find out who made the best, average, and worst headlines in sports and entertainment each Monday as Justin and DJ give you their game balls and jock straps on the zone from 10 to 1. It's all brought to you by 8 Caddies Touch Landscaping, 501-794-2770. Call today to get your landscape updated to a whole new level and be listening for game balls and jock straps only on 103.7 The Buzz.
Fellas, don't waste time and money with low-quality online TRT that charges you over $100 just to start. Are you kidding me? Visit the TRT experts today at Low T Center for a free consultation and free test. Treatment is personalized to your body, and most major insurances are accepted. With the freedom to choose if you want in-center care or at-home treatment, you're in control of your health. Looking to lose weight? Get a free B12 shot when you start prescription treatment. Offer limited. Book now at FixMyLowT.com. That's FixMyLowT.com, and y'all can thank me later.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Welcome back to Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, brought to you by Honda of North Little Rock. Brian Hendricks, Joe Franklin, Cameron Nestorenko in studio.
Yeah, visiting with Cameron Nestorenko, and in between segments there during the break, we were talking about the Lake Maumelle stuff starting to kick off real good. One thing I noticed about it is it's still really low over there.
It's still very, very low. I mean, a few months ago, it was, that lake was, nothing looked the same. A lot of the stuff that I usually fish was completely out of the water. The water's slowly coming up now. From what I understand is there was some damage to the dam, so they had to lower it. They've been lowering the lake every year to try to kill the grass off out there. So they were trying to repair the dam, and now the water's still coming up. It's still not back to normal level, or it still has a way to come up, but it's getting to where you can drive around out there safely again. There for a while, I wouldn't have told anybody to go out there to fish just because of how many trees and things were sticking up. But it's kind of starting to get back to normal. It's still kind of muddy. It hasn't really cleared up yet this year. But it's just all the rain and just the water coming up. But it should be right probably, midsummer, back to normal.
So when you've got a low lake situation that's persisted as long as that has, and it's starting to rise about this time of year when things are happening, how do you pattern the bass out there?
A lot of the stuff is just really, I'm having to find a lot of new things just because the areas I like to fish are still too shallow. So really looking around like creek channels and everything where the water didn't change that much, where they could just go off into 30 feet of water and hang out there, because it's kind of just got to get out there and start looking for new things. It's kind of hard to pattern them right now because the water's still coming up. So there's fish on the bank, and it being May now, there's still fish on the bank, but a lot of them are moving offshore for their summertime pattern. So right now, you're just kind of trying to catch them where they're going to.
I would imagine that with as little cover as there is out there, and as the way bass suspend out there, there's probably not a better place to use and learn to use live forward-facing sonar.
It's a great spot to use it because, like you said, now there's not any grass or anything, so they're all kind of like what you're saying, suspending. So that's a great place to go out to learn, and all the white bass and crappie too out there. It's nice to, when you start looking at it and learning it, to where you can tell, hey, that's bass, that's crappie, that's white bass. It takes time to do it, but that's a great place to go.
Maumelle back in the day it was famous around the region for its white bass run. Is it still?
I think it is. Probably not this year just because of how low the water was, but I know people have always, for years past, they keep on going up the creek to catch white bass. I've never really done that. I've hung out around the Highway 10 bridge before and caught some, but those guys will go way up in the creek, and I'm assuming this year it probably wasn't as good as what it usually is, but from years past, everybody still goes out there to catch white bass.
I went out once and caught a few. There were people out there. There's a fairly good number of people out there, but everybody was saying the same thing, that they just never quite got up in the number that they usually do. The one thing that I've always been curious about is, bass anglers just tend to really concentrate on things on the bank, laydowns, whatever it happens to be, and that's really not the way that the lake fishes. How did you evolve out there?
All right, so whenever I first started fishing out there, I had a little aluminum boat. My buddy Andrew Woolley and I, he's still my fishing partner to this day, we just kind of started out there, and there used to be a lot of bank grass, so we could catch them out there, around the bank grass. But this is really before side imaging and everything got popular. And we started kind of moving offshore, just kind of figuring out, watching fishing videos and Bassmasters and everything. The guys that were going offshore were consistently catching bigger fish. And so we kind of started trying to figure out how to do that, looking at long points or road beds or brush piles and things like that. And still, to this day, you can catch them up shallow still. It's nice to have a 1-2 punch to where if the offshore things aren't working, you can still run up shallow and catch things. So you have to cover a lot more water, and it's not as precise. When you're fishing offshore, you're targeting specific pieces of structure like a brush pile or rock pile or road beds, anything like that. When you're up shallow, you're kind of just turning and burning down the bank.
Probably the biggest revelation that I remember out there is when SideScan really first came in and saw that bridge out there by the chimney for the first time in detail. And when you are able to graph something in a real picture like that, it's amazing.
It's so cool. I have so many screenshots on my phone, specifically from Maumelle, just because there's a whole town underwater there. So
Right.
there's, there's old house foundations, there's the bridges, there's the roads, there's an old cemetery. Finding old boats, you go, side imaging, you'll see old boats by the old marina. On the bottom, you can almost count how many seats are in it. The side imaging, when that first came out, that was so cool. And now with forward-facing sonar, that's just a step above that.
For people that took a while to figure out, how to use down scan and side scan, that made the transition from the old, here's the little picture of the fish on the graph. What's the learning curve like to go from that to a live sonar?
I will say, it's everything is just time on the water. Whenever you can kind of start figuring out how to line up where your bait is and what your target's looking at. For me personally, one of my favorite things about forward facing is that when you're casting at a target you can't visibly see, you can line up on it so much easier than just blind casting and hoping that you hit your target. Now you point your transducer straight at it and it's at your 2 o'clock off the front of the boat, and it makes things just so much more efficient. But there is definitely a learning curve behind it. I'll say I'm not the best at using forward-facing sonar. My partner, Andrew, he's really good at it. So I'm still trying to get my head wrapped around it, but it is very cool, and it's kind of one of those things like if you ain't scoping, you're hoping.
How did that affect the evolution of you as an angler? Because you kind of came up in the transitional period. It wasn't there, then it was there, and it's like you say, you had to learn to do it to be competitive.
I feel like I had a very good grasp of down scan and side scan, and then once forward facing came out, it makes things where you think you would never find fish. There's so many more fish out just suspended out in the main lake than you would ever think. Targeting specific fish, you can find a singular fish and follow it around, if you can just keep your transducer on it. But really the main thing with me is just kind of trying to understand like what you're looking at, seeing what's a fish, where's your bait at, what's a bait fish look like, and trying to figure out how to get lined up on it. That's the main thing for me, is just trying to stay precise with it. Just to see, it's kind of hard to get your bait to see it. But once you kind of start getting the hang of it, man, it's cool. It's very cool.
Which one are you most comfortable with then? Is it down, side, or front?
I like the down imaging, the side imaging. So what I usually do is say that I'm looking at brush piles. I will go, if I don't know the brush piles there, I like to go over it and see it on my side imaging, drop a waypoint on it to where I can kind of have a reference point to where it's at. And then I'll spin around and fish it, and that's kind of when the forward facing comes into it, to where instead of just blind casting hoping you hit something, you know exactly where your target is. Like with brush piles, you can see the fish in the brush pile, you can see where your bait is coming up over the top of it, and pretty much you can get your bait in the fish's face, and it's just up to the fish to bite it now.
We're going to take a break here. We're visiting with Cameron Nestorenko, very well accomplished young angler here in Central Arkansas. We've known him for a long time, and we're going to be back and talk a little more fishing, Lake Maumelle and other places on Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
It's a tough time. Injured, and it was not your fault. Hurts in the pocketbook, too. Who do you turn to? Don't call a lawyer and find they're out of state, or talk with someone at a call center. Call us at the Brad Hendricks Law Firm and talk to a real Arkansas lawyer directly. And remember, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. We'll work hard for you. Have for over 30 years. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
When you're out and about in the natural state, whether it's work or play, be sure to make W's Convenience Stores your one-stop shop. With 34 locations in Central Arkansas, they're easy to find. Headed to the lake or just taking in the beauty of Arkansas? Stop in at your nearest W's location. Their double blend of coffee is always hot and fresh. Snacks, W's has them. Want more than a snack? Many W's have hot delis. And don't forget the hot breakfast sandwiches. W's, where you gas it, grab it, and go.
Hi, this is Joe Klein, former Razorback and owner of Corky's Ribs and Barbecue.
And I'm Anthony Lucas, also a proud former Razorback and Corky's Barbecue regular customer.
We may represent different sports in different decades, but all generations of hogs agree.
Corky's is the only place to get the most delicious ribs and barbecue at a winning price.
So stop into Corky's now and every day for never-ending specials.
Corky's,
where hogs come home, baby.
Corky's Ribs and Barbecue.
Hello, I'm Brett Rogers, President of Capital Technology Group. You might know us as Capital Business Machines, but our new name represents our growth as one of the state's leaders in business technology. When you've been around for 80 years like we have, you learn a thing or two about change. But what will never change is our commitment to our clients. We're still the same reliable team here to meet all your technology needs. Capital Technology Group is bigger and better than ever before. Learn more at captg.com.
Hey Buzz listeners, have you heard the news? Natural State Wholesale has expanded and doubled in size, making it the ultimate warehouse wonderland. You will walk through the warehouse and be amazed at the unbeatable prices around every turn. At the warehouse, you will find wholesale pricing on everything. Come on down and meet the flooring king Don Grisham himself and see for yourself what everyone is talking about. Visit the warehouse today, 2011 North 2nd Street in Cabot, just off Interstate 57, or visit them at naturalstatewholesale.com.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Welcome back to Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, brought to you by Honda of North Little Rock. Last segment here, Brian Hendricks, Joe Franklin, and studio guest Cameron Nestorenko. And now we go back to Damon Poole to give us the latest on weather.
That's right. In far northwest Arkansas are where the active tornado warnings are. Nothing for central Arkansas yet except for a tornado watch for Cleburne, Conway, Garland, Perry, Pope, Van Buren, and Yell counties until 2 o'clock. We are monitoring Channel 4 and the National Weather Service. So if there's anything that we need to cut into, we'll let you know. And keep it right here for the emergency alerts as they come out.
And we're back with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. And Damon, one of these days when I can afford it, I'm going to get a Rolex tornado watch.
Yep.
We're back visiting with Cameron Nestorenko. And we've been talking everything you want to know about live scoping on Lake Maumelle. But we're getting into that year that we're kind of getting away from spring, getting into summer, even though it's still kind of cool. But the transition's happening. Let's take you to a lake that a lot of anglers are near and dear to their hearts. Go to two of them, Ouachita and DeGray.
Okay.
And even Hamilton, that's a different sort of thing. Weather's changing, the temperatures starting to go up, water temperatures rising, the spawn's about over. What are we going to do?
May is usually my favorite time of year to fish just because there's still fish up shallow to be caught, but the majority of them are starting to move offshore, and that's where I feel like I do best is offshore fishing. So really like this time of year, the three things I like to key in on are offshore structures. So like I was talking about, the rock piles, road beds, brush piles, big long points, things like that. schooling fish, if you can find an area that has a lot of bait, shad and everything around, they'll come up schooling to the top. It's pretty obvious to find them. You just have to spend time looking for them early in the morning, late in the afternoons. It's a lot of fun. And the third thing I usually look for is brim beds. So this time of year, the brim are starting to spawn, and a lot of times wolf packs of bass will move into those brim beds, and they'll kind of wreak havoc for a little bit and just keep moving on. So that's usually pretty easy to find, even just with your sunglasses. Wearing a good pair of polarized sunglasses, they kind of look like honeycomb on the bottom of the lake. And if you can find a brim bed with a lot of brim on it, a lot of times there'll be bass hanging out around that area. Those are the three main things I kind of try to key in on, especially on those lakes. I know the water's been up pretty high at DeGray and Ouachita. Last time I was at DeGray was probably about a month ago or so, maybe 2 months, but water was still really high. I don't know what it's like over there now, but really early in the morning, I would just start out looking for schooling fish. It's a lot of fun. It's very obvious to find them. As long as you find, shad and bait, you can see them schooling on top of the water. And then once the day goes on, I'll start going out to the deeper areas, focusing more on structure. And if that just isn't working, then I'll just start burning down the bank looking for brim beds.
Hamilton's got all those docks. It's like a miniature Lake of the Ozarks.
Mm-hmm.
Got the docks. It's got this. It's got that. It's like there's about 5 different things you can do on any given day out there.
We had a tournament there this past weekend, and between the two of us, we probably had 25 rods on the deck. And we were going from 2 feet of water to 25 feet of water. But with those docks, I like the docks that have the solid pillars. They have the floating docks, and they have like the metal pole docks. But the ones that are just solid, like wooden docks, those are the ones that I try to focus on more. There's just so much to do out there on Hamilton, like you said, with the docks, and then just the regular offshore structure, and then there's grass, and there's hydrilla further up the river. There's a lot of stuff to do there, and Hamilton was really good. We probably caught 30 fish that day. Not a whole lot of big ones, but that was just, we never really got in front of them. But Hamilton is a very diverse place. It's not a very great place to fish in the summertime just because of the boat traffic.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of gets annoying after a while, and you kind of have to watch it so if somebody doesn't run over you. But, it's a great lake, especially in the wintertime.
What is it about schooling fish? You're out there, and they school 75 yards this way or that way. Rarely do they do it around you.
Yeah. A lot of times, honestly, with the live scope, there's no real guessing to what's going on now. You see what's happening in front of you. So a lot of times it's just fish pushing balls of bait up to the top, and it's very just random where it happens. They just push them up to where they can, and that's when they breach the water. But yes, that is very annoying whenever you can cast about 50 yards and they're, just a little ways outside of that, and you're chasing them.
When will the post-spawn dock pattern start to go away?
I would say probably mid-June. We caught a few on docks this past weekend, but I think those docks, you can still catch fish around there, those docks, most of the time of the year. But I think the majority of the fish are going to head out to that more like 20, 25-foot kind of water here probably by like mid-June.
And when you're trying to target, 2.5 to 3, 3.5, 4 pound fish, where are you going to look for them?
Right now, we didn't catch very many big ones schooling. It was a lot of spotted bass, 10-inch, 12-inch spotted bass. Right now, I'd still be looking around the brim beds in the offshore structure. There's a lot of guys putting out brush piles right now, so if you could find a newer brush pile that still has leaves and everything on it that's not, kind of disintegrating already, that's really what I would be looking for.
If you want to do some brim fishing, now's a great time to do that. Hybrids are still working at DeGray and everything. And, we've been visiting with Cameron Nestorenko about all things fishing. We'll be back next Monday. We're going to have a Memorial Day show. So join us on Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. Thank you for joining us tonight. Freaky Joe Franklin, thank you for being here, buddy.
Always good to see you, Brian. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.